Let's look to other news now. And young Muslims in Wales say they can face daily abuse simply because of their religion. Today, the Children's Commissioner launched a new resource for secondary schools to highlight the harm caused by Islamophobia and to help challenge negative perceptions of Islam. You may find some of the terms in Megan Boot's report offensive.
For 17-year-old Mariam from Cardiff, Islamophobia affects her everyday life.
Just the staring in public by people who maybe don't know a lot of other religion. You can't really blame them, but it does put a lot of people off from going certain places.
How does it feel to be judged for how you look or what you believe?
Horrible. It's really horrible.
Yeah, I've been called terrorist, Paki.
This video has been released by the Children's Commissioner as part of a new learning resource.
I've got bombs in my bag, that sort of thing.
These students at Cateys High have been involved in the project.
I feel like to be frightful or to be scared of a religion that basically means peace is just like absurd. Like, that's why we need to come out and that's why we need to talk about it.
I think it's really beneficial, and I'm proud to be a part of it, because I think with this we could achieve good stuff.
I'm also privileged to know that I'm part of something that will help to change the problem.
As well as looking at the impact of Islamophobia, the lessons also focus on improving people's understanding of Islam. Daniel J. oversees personal and social education at the school.
There are lots of pupils then who are more likely to listen, more likely to take it on board, rather than it just coming from an adult talking about it from their perspective. So I think it's really important that it comes from the pupils themselves, and they've been able to get involved in such a great project.
Well, the context of all this really is quite shocking. In the last year, there's been an increase in race hate crime and an increase in religious hate crime. Here in Wales, teachers in 16 of the 22 local authorities have asked for help when dealing with racism.
So I asked the Children's Commissioner if she's providing this resource because schools can't afford to do it.
I'm providing this resource because it's my role to champion the rights of children and young people, and I think it's more helpful for me to provide resources to help other people do that too, than just to wag my finger at them and tell them to do it better.
Islam means to me that families coming together.
She hopes these stories will change people's views and remind us all of the many things we have in common.
Football, cooking and rugby.
Megan Boot, ITV News.
Well, I'm joined now by Sunil Patel from the anti-racism charity Show Racism the Red Card, and Ibi Osman, who's a pupil at Cateys High School, who we saw briefly in that report. Welcome to you both, and thank you for coming in this evening. Ibi, if I can start by asking you a question that Megan asked at the top of that report. How does it feel for you if people judge you on what you look like or what you believe?
Obviously, it is traumatizing for a young person to go through such hate at a young age by potentially someone that might be older than him or her, for example. And what this launch of the report will help to do is to kind of guide those small-minded people and to kind of teach them on what Islam really is, and that the young people are not the problems that we're facing in society.
And do you have personal experience?
Yeah. Being a young boy raised in Cardiff, obviously I would have been faced with some sort of hate. When I'm walking in the city centre, there are people that do occasionally come up to me and maybe say insulting comments towards my colour or towards the type of person I am, because being a born Muslim in Cardiff is kind of difficult, but I'm really, really privileged as I don't go through as much hate as a young person would do necessarily, because I'm in a multicultural, multi-ethnic and multi-faithful school.
Well, I'm sure many people would say that, you shouldn't be going through any hate at all, and that's what the message is, isn't it, Sunil? You've been working in this sector for a long time. Have you seen things improve or not?
Well, been with this charity for about 11 years, and I think we were making progress, or what people thought was making progress, but I think in reality we've seen really small improvements, if that. And I say that through personal experiences myself, having experienced racism recently, which for me is quite unusual because I hadn't received racism for a number of years. And you've only got to follow social media, and we actually produced a report ourselves, which was released in September 2016, and the report categorically showed the scale of the problem of racism and Islamophobia across Wales in schools.
Why do you think, as we heard, the statistics are so stark and this problem of hate crime is on the rise?
I think you've got to be careful. I think it's always been there. But I think what's happened is it's been more publicised now with the media and social media. And yes, it probably has been on the rise. We know there's a 27% increase in terms of Home Office figures around hate crime, of which 85% is around race and religion. So it's definitely an issue, and it has been on the rise. You can't pinpoint it to one actual example of why, but there's a multitude of issues that are causing the problems.
And Ibi, you've been doing a lot in your community and in your school. To end on a positive note, give me an example of what is bringing people together.
I think what we have is a successful school and good practices at Cathays High School. And I think a lot of schools should follow in the footsteps of Cathays High School. For one, we have a PTA, which is a Parent Teacher Association, where we have a lot of group of young people and parents and teachers gather together to kind of solve the problems that we're faced in society and to kind of give our contribution to kind of solving this problem. So last month we had a group of Somali young boys that's part of Cathays High School to come and to help with the parents and the teachers to make some Somali foods to be donated, to be offered to teachers so that we could get some money to be donated to the Somali drought. And we raised over £500 and we had an inset day in the school so people could wear uniform, and the school offered to give the donations to the charity as well.
Fantastic that you're doing such positive things in your school, and hopefully that message will spread to both of you. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you.
Yeah.